Hi, what's going on, Conscious Crew? I know I am like hella late. This live stream was actually supposed to start at what 6? Nope, 4:30. 4:30. It's 8 o'clock. Yikes! That's what doing the improv show will do to you, girl. Okay, you guys know we just came off of the whole just hilarious T.S. Madison conversation, girl, and of course it 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 went on. Okay. T.S. Madison responded to Unhinged with Budweiser K, girl. Okay, y'all know Unhinged had some very disrespectful, nasty insults for T.S. Madison, who, you know, at best they were definitely acquaintances, and it came out of standing up for females as it relates to the whole trans conversation, child. It was a mess, but T.S. Madison dragged down, baby. Dragged boots. Boo. Okay? And then we had opened up the show, and there was just a lot. A conversation, a lot of dialogue, and I did not take a nap. Lucky 8 lady. Oh, I wish I could have took a nap, baby. But my God, I did not. I am tired as hell, so I'm surprised I got all this energy. The love for y'all. The love for y'all, girl. Just staying true to my commitments. Question, before we get started, does anybody know how do you adjust these type of straps that are on a jumper? Because every adjustment I go to make, it drops lower, and I want it higher up, but I have no idea how to utilize these type of straps at all. I have no idea. I'm gonna take a picture in it. This is so cute. This is actually a woman's jumper, but it's an oversized denim female jumper. It's really unisex. It's like super wide. It's literally made for like baggy, relaxed, mobility. And oh, they're so cute and so fashionable. And I was like, man, this is mine, honey. This is now male. Okay. What's going on, Don? Yeah, I am out of my mind right now. I am out of my mind right now. I am tired. How do y'all use these? Anybody know how you? I don't even know how to adjust these straps. I'm about to look up a tutorial, girl, on how to adjust straps on a freaking jumper. What's going on, Don Phillips? I think, Don, you must be new here. Got some new faces in the building. Y'all already know what we're here to get into, child. It's a lot going on in the world, girl, okay? Y'all know we had to start off with Unhinged. Then we got to talk about her residential favorite pastor, Bishop Lamor Whitehead. The bishop who she said is missing a side tooth and is a dumbass and just a mess, girl. Okay? The bishop that she said was allegedly pulling stunts with Foxy Brown, girl. You know, Foxy Brown, she be on her Beyonce shit, baby. I guess she don't care what them whores say about her, baby. Okay? She has nothing to say. Nothing. Adjust the buckles at the top. You talking about these? So what do I do? Like attempt to move this upward? Like if this buckle here is moving in this direction, closer to the shoulder, moving up, then that's tightening. The further down it goes, the looser it gets, right? If this buckle goes up, the tighter it is what you're saying, I think. Hey, Tarsha, what's going on? Dancing, okay. But see, I don't know how to... See, this shit gonna be down to my goddamn waist. I'm gonna have the Medea titties, okay? This gonna represent the titties right here, because this shit gonna be all the way to my asshole, okay? Because watch. I'm about to fuck it up. Watch. I'm about to fuck it up. Watch me unsuccessfully do this. I don't know how to scoot this upward. I don't know how this for humans. I don't know how human clothes are made, girl. Like I'm from another world. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, this sliding up. Wait a minute. It's not an adjustment. Oh, wait a minute. Girl, I'm about to fuck shit up. I'm about to fuck shit all the way up. Girl. Hold on. I'm a damsel in distress. My femininity needs a masculine assistance. Girl, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, no. See, this is now I'm just doing shit, okay? Now I'm about to just become completely undone, girl. Hold on. Listening to y'all, bitch. This is what the fuck I get listening to y'all, girl. Now I don't know. Now, look at what I done did. Look at that. Look at that. I'm too pretty to be in shambles. Hold on, because now my OCD ain't gonna let this shit, it ain't gonna let me leave it like this. Oh, I done did something. Hold on. What in the entire fuck did I do? Okay. 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 Wait a minute. Is that what it is? Nope. Bitch. Girl. This I didn't even. My God. All right. This is not wrong direction. I'm gonna have to tutorial. I'm gonna have to Google it. I'm gonna have to. Anyway, welcome to the chat, girl. Thumbs up this video. Child, it's been one hell of a day. Yes, I tried. That's all that matters, girl. That's all that matters, honey. Okay? Give me a try sticker. Let's see. My OCD. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my aesthetics. So this is going to get on my nerve. Like this little unevenness. I'm going to have to. Oh, God. I'm just so over it. All right. Well, y'all, bear with me. I'm tired. Welcome to the platform. Thumbs up this video. Thumbing up helps with the YouTube. Fuck it. We're just going to get into it, honey. I'm about to run the intro. Y'all already know what it gives, girl. Where's the intro?
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, hi you guys. All right, we're back. So let's just get into it, girl. So it's a lot going on. You guys know that the last time that we reported on Pastor Bishop Whitehead, girl, or whatever the hell he want to be called today, girl, number 332, child. Okay. He had officially filed his lawsuit against his old parishioner, Unhinged, with Budweiser K, girl. Okay, the lawsuit has been officially filed. You know, we read line by line, precept by precept, girl, and it had alleged really a whole bunch of goddamn nothing. I really think the lawsuit will fall into the frivolous category, and it ain't going no goddamn where, and it won't even get off the ground. Wait, let me retract that. They actually have a hearing coming up. Okay, they have a preliminary hearing coming up for the lawsuit, which I did not know was possible if you hadn't even got somebody served yet. But maybe Unhinged is served. I'm just confused, girl, about the whole thing. Okay? Because the last time that Whitehead was live, he was with his disbarred, milk dud head ass attorney, Brian, win a lawsuit, Ponder. And Bishop made an interesting statement. He was like, oh, and we know where you at. We know where you live. We know where you live, Unhinged. So it was giving me the impression that the lawsuit had been filed, but they had not served her yet. Because obviously, had they served her successfully, Bishop would have already known that Unhinged knows where she's at, because he was able to put a process server successfully on her ass. But that has not happened yet. So when Bishop said that, he was using it as an intimidation tactic. So I don't know how the hell they got a hearing coming up for a lawsuit that was filed, but that she hasn't been served for, unless the courts made a mistake and she's able to contest this hearing by saying, I haven't even been served or put on official notice yet to have to be in the building to talk about some bullshit from the start. But I'll keep y'all updated with that, child. Okay. Now, Bishop Orsau had went live yesterday or day before yesterday, because it has been officially 1 year since this infamous robbery that gave him all the clout that he could ever need, and the clout for him that none of us ever goddamn wanted for him, girl. Okay? You guys know, a year ago, girl, his storefront church was robbed, broad daylight, during a Facebook live stream of 7 viewers and 6.5 congregants, girl. He was robbed by 3 ninjas. They yanked him, spanked him, and clanked his ass, okay, for all his jewelry, all his rubies, all his Cuban zirconium. They also robbed the wife blind, etc., in the alleged house of God, baby, and fled. Now, you guys know that 2 of the robbers have been captured. They are going to be, there should be some hearings coming up, if I'm not mistaken, girl, okay? And there's still 1 ninja on the loose, okay? The head ninja in charge who orchestrated this whole thing, allegedly, girl. He's still at large. They have not located him, even though they have identified him, okay? Now, you guys know, amidst him handing out lawsuits, girl, to Miss Jones, who recently had a legal victory against the bishop, girl, okay? You guys know he had sued Miss Jones. She is a radio DJ out in Jersey or New York, up north, etc., girl. And he filed a lawsuit claiming defamation and that she claimed he was a criminal and that he staged the whole thing, etc. Well, Miss Jones was able to put a reverse uno with that old nasty piece of anti-SLAPP statute that is now in place that allows people who are victims of frivolous lawsuits, okay, who are trying to be strong-armed by those who are going to attempt to use a lawsuit to drive a person into bankruptcy, to disrupt the person's life, to take up a person's time, because lawsuits are weaponized against people in all type of ways, okay, outside of the initial claims that are being made in the lawsuit, where the anti-SLAPP statute allows there to be some reciprocity for people who are being and having a lawsuit weaponized against them, girl. So she pulled the anti-SLAPP statute, and the court has thrown out his case and rewarded her some punitive damages, aka her attorney fees, which he's now responsible for. What a fucking gag, right? All right. Well, he also had filed a lawsuit against Brandon Belmonte. Okay. Now, you guys know here, most of us learned about Brandon Belmonte when an infamous article was written up back in January of this year by the New Yorker, who chronicled Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, mentorship with his mentee, aka Lamor Whitehead. The beginning of the article opens up with Brandon Belmonte's encounter with the bishop. And according to Brandon Belmonte, okay, something wasn't right in the buttermilk. This led to the FBI getting involved. This involved Brandon Belmonte ultimately acting as an informant, at least as it relates to the bishop. Now, since then, Unhinged with Budweiser K and Whitehead have accused Brandon Belmonte of being a government informant, period. When, in fact, it may just be that that particular situation was an isolated incident, because the feds had already been on Whitehead's trail for a long time and had been building their case what seems to be over about a 4 to 5 year period. Okay, they've been very methodical and super detailed and almost obsessively detailed in their investigation into the lifestyle and the origins of Bishop's money and how he is accumulating wealth. Okay, great bundles of it. All right, well, you would also know that the bishop took to Power 105.1 4 months ago, where he spoke about Brandon Belmonte, setting him up, and how Brandon Belmonte has been the reason why the feds are on his ass. You guys know the bishop has thrown up a lot of names, girl. He accused Larry of it. He accused Jobs of it, girl. He accused anybody he could of why he is facing a indictment with a superseded indictment with a superseded for the superseded indictment, bitch. Okay, Super Mario Brother coins, tease, child. Okay, and the bishop filed a lawsuit against Belmonte accordingly. Okay, a lawsuit that we haven't heard anything about since it's been filed. Okay, we don't know if Brandon Belmonte is going to talk about the lawsuit. Okay, Brandon Belmonte is going to detail his experience, girl, and we're going to listen to it right here today. Okay, his interview was about 20 minutes long, and he actually came in a month after Bishop's interview 4 months ago. So now I'm curious as to why Power 105.1 decided to release the interview at this time. I wonder what the holdup was. I wonder why they held on to the interview. I wonder if that has something to do with Brandon Belmonte. I wonder if Brandon Belmonte wanted to, I wonder if he halted the publishing of the interview, especially after the lawsuit was filed, because he just wanted to wait. I'm curious to know why Power 105 released this interview so late. Obviously, they really would have benefited from the clout and the clicks and the views off the interview at the time that Brandon Belmonte's was like, his name was hot on a skillet out here in these streets. 4 months later? What do y'all think that's about? Why do y'all think that is? It's fascinating. And this is the only time that we've heard from Brandon Belmonte. This has been his only, as far as I know, his only public appearance as it relates to the allegations that Lamor Whitehead has alleged against him, etc. So, with no further ado, let's listen to this interview because it was quite fascinating. Brandon Belmonte is a very fascinating character as well. And shout out to Tarsha. Thank you, Tarsha, for letting me know that this interview had been had. I appreciate that because I didn't know that until you had commented under my last video. So thank you for the heads up, child. Because you're the reason for the season, girl. Okay? And Tarsha says maybe the feds. That's what I'm thinking. Probably so. Maybe he had spoke too soon and the feds just wanted to keep Whitehead in the dark maybe for a little bit longer. I'm just curious. Morky Mom says maybe the FBI called them to hold it. Yeah. So everybody's screaming FBI, FBI, FBI. So it's very, very well possible. Thank you so much for that, Ty. Kiwana says that is rather interesting. The Great Escape is underway. That part. Hey, Nakia. Hey, everybody. Okay, so this audio, which is going to be audio only, courtesy of Power 105.1 over on YouTube. Check them out. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. But let me show you guys Brandon Belmonte first. For those of you who don't know what Brandon Belmonte looks like, I just want to give you a visual. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and screenshot, actually. Let me screenshot. So we can have an old nasty visual reference up here, chat. Hold on. And thumbs up the video as you guys are coming into the sanctuary, chat. Make it do what it do on the like button, honey. I love you long time. Hold on, let me pull up an image of Brandon Belmonte so we can get you up in here. Hey, Serenity, what's going on, love? Hi, everybody. All right. All right. That's Brandon Belmonte, y'all. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Good stuff, because we need the algorithms to algorithm. I want to say about a month or two ago, we interviewed the Bling Bishop, and he had a lot of things to say about a person named Brandon Belmonte. And today, I'm giving Brandon his turn to say his piece. Brandon, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, where do you want to start?
From the beginning.
I mean, there's a lot of things I could start with, but I just want to, basically touch on some items that Bishop Lamar brought to your show a month ago.
Hey, boo.
That were, false.
Hey, Ronald.
I was introduced to Bishop Lamar by a gentleman. I used to own the largest luxury car rental business in New York. It was called VIP Cars. I had about 108 cars. We did a lot of music videos. We did a lot of luxury high-end car rental, Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis, etc., etc. Had a body shop in the Bronx that I bought about 2 years ago for like $500,000. A gentleman walks in one day, a broker in New York City who was a big broker in the car rental business, walks in and says, this guy wants to rent out his car. I'll never forget, Bishop walks in with this big, huge chain that either cost less than a Hershey bar or more than, a Rolls Royce. One or the other, right? And I basically shoved him off and said, I'm not interested. It was a huge cross. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. About 6 months goes by, I get a phone call from this young woman. She says, my car got into an accident. Can you fix my car? I said, yeah, I'm not really at the body shop that often, but I'll come. I come to the body shop, meet her. She identifies herself as Bishop Lamor Whitehead's sister-in-law. Her name was Ashley, very beautiful, pretty girl, cool girl. She says, can you give me a car to use for a couple weeks while you fix my car? I said, yeah, sure. She had a Maserati truck. We fixed it. I gave her a brand new BMW X6M to drive around for a couple weeks. She drives the car. And don't hear anything.
Now, mind you guys, Brandon, Whitehead and Transrena Kibi had said that allegedly, girl, Miss Belmonte used to rent out foreign and luxury vehicles to all the high-powered Illuminati-ass criminals and rappers of the country, child, and that Belmonte, a part of his informant duties, was he would wire these luxury vehicles that he would rent out to these very powerful people who would do business with him regarding his auto body shop. And whatever was captured, okay, due to the conversations that he was able to record that they're having with other occupants of the vehicle, or while they're on the phone in the vehicle, on FaceTime in the vehicle, if there was anything criminal, anything that can be prosecuted, that the feds would use that information and evidence, and that, he would be broken off with a cut of coin, or have his own bullshit not be prosecuted. Because we're going to get into Mr. Brandon Belmonte, baby. He's not allegedly the innocent Santa Claus businessman that he tried to paint himself as in this interview. Him and Whitehead are literally two sides of the exact same motherfucking coin. Okay? But that's the tea, accordingly, girl. He will wire these luxury vehicles and set these rappers up and shit, bitch, on behalf of the feds, in order to keep the feds off his ass, because he got a lot of federal shit going on his damn self.
Bishop calls me one day.
So they're basically trying to use a little fish to capture the bigger fish. But Brandon Belmonte is kind of a big deal in his circle and in this area of auto body and luxury cars and celebrity and rappers and that whole space. So he's kind of the big fish being used to capture the smaller fish.
thanks for fixing my wife's, my sister-in-law's car. I said, cool, nice to meet you, pleasure. He got my number from his sister-in-law. About 3 or 4 months goes by, I get a FaceTime back to back. I pick up, I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, hey, Brandon, it's Bishop. My wife's car got hit, G-Wagon. I said, okay. I said, I'm not really at the body shop. I'm in real estate. I said, I'm not really in the body shop that often. He goes, well, can you fix her car? I said, yeah, that's fine. At this time, I shut down the rental business. I'm not renting cars. I don't have any cars anymore. I have my personal Lamborghini Urus and a Aventador SVJ. I don't have any cars to give anyone for free. He brings his wife's car to the shop, comes to the shop. He goes, my wife needs a car to drive. I said, okay, we'll cover her rental. The car, the G-Wagon, was like $25K to fix. So I go and I rent his wife a Cadillac Escalade from Blue Street Exotics in Long Island. I paid $13,000 to rent the car. Now you're a businessman. Everybody's a businessman. Now I'm into it. I have 12 grand left to play with, right? By the time I buy parts for the car, I do everything. There's no money left at all.
Then you ain't got no 12 grand.
He starts at the end of the job. I got to get mine. Starts coming every day to the shop, every day. Every other word out of his mouth is Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, Eric Adams this. I said, listen, I'm building a building in the Bronx right now. I said, I don't have anything to do with Eric Adams. I don't know any Eric Adams. I don't want nothing to do with Eric Adams. I got to get mine. I said, bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
What does he mean by I got to get mine?
There is no extra money in this job at all. He goes, I don't give a fuck. He goes, I'm from the streets. He goes, and don't get this, misconstrued of the way I dress and who I am. I'm from the streets. I got to get mine. I said, bro, I paid $13,000 for a fucking, so sorry for
No, you can go.
Okay. I paid $13,000 for a fucking rental for your car. There's no money left in this deal whatsoever. So you want me to lose money to fix your wife's car? How the fuck does that make any sense? He goes, bro, I don't give a fuck what you got to do. He starts sending me Zelle requests, starts telling me his brother's going to pick it up. Don't get misconstrued.
Now, I'm going to be honest. This did not make any sense to me. I'm with Brandon Belmonte. I don't understand how Whitehead was under the alleged impression that he was entitled to money or some type of compensation when he's the one utilizing this man's professional services. And this man, on top of providing his mechanical services to fix Whitehead's sister-in-law's truck, that this businessman also overcompensated Whitehead by also putting Whitehead's sister-in-law in a $12,000 fucking rental. So how in the hell did Whitehead become convinced that he was entitled to money? And which at first listen to this, I said, Brandon Belmonte has to be completely eliminating a significant part of this narrative. He has to be. Because it almost sounds like he just skipped over a whole scene. Like we were traveling, okay, it making sense, everything fitting, and then glitch, and then the scene continues on. And it's, I don't know, girl, we clearly missed the sentence. We clearly missed a whole context here. And I was like, Brandon Belmonte must be lying. He must be lying because something would have given Whitehead the incentive to believe that he was entitled to money. There had to be a collaboration that he's not mentioning. There has to be something that he did, Belmonte, something he said, something that was offered, something that was agreed to, that made Whitehead think he was entitled to money and press on this man for money to the extent that he was willing to damn near sick the goons on Belmonte ass to retrieve this money. But then, as I was thinking and entertaining the thought that Brandon Belmonte must be fucking lying, he must be clearly leaving something out of the equation because Whitehead's actions don't make fucking sense. But then I thought about all the other lawsuits that are currently pending against Whitehead from ex-campaign workers, from ex-alleged employees who also claimed that Whitehead was trying to strong-arm them out of thousands of dollars just because he knew they were people of wealth, or just because he knew they had the money. Prime example, let's take a pause because we got to make it make sense, right? Let's roll over to the left a little bit into the NY Post and just turn back the hands of time to just a year ago. Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. Remember this? Ex-campaign worker claims that flashy NYC Bishop Whitehead stiffed him out of over $56,000 in lawsuit. Fendi loving ex-con Bishop Lamor Whitehead stiffed a campaign worker out of more than 50 grand while making a failed run for Brooklyn Bureau president, court papers allege. The headline-grabbing clergyman's former campaign street team manager, Yves Andre, claims in a lawsuit that Whitehead hired him last year to recruit staffers to help the bishop make his improbable political run, but never made good on his promise to reimburse the plaintiff for thousands of dollars. He was forced to shell out to pay workers. Andrea accuses Whitehead of fraud, breach of contract, and unjust enrichment in the complaint, which was filed July 29th. Quote, he owes me money. He cannot evade it. Andre told the Post on Tuesday, I have the proof. Out of everyone who has brought claims against him, he has not mentioned me because he knows my lawsuit is valid. Okay? Then the article, the New York Post, goes on to talk about how there was an employee that Whitehead tried to allegedly stiff $5,000 out of, and that Whitehead allegedly damn near threatened the man physically, which is also in the indictment against Whitehead. They literally list this incident, this claim, this lawsuit in Whitehead's indictment that he has berated, physically threatened, attempted to intimidate people into giving him their hard-earned money, not giving him, not strong-arming them for money he's owed, money he's worked for, money he's entitled to, but literally pulled up on people just because he knew they had it and because he was in desperate need, and tried to force them, scare them, intimidate them into giving him thousands of dollars. So when I thought about what Brenda Belmonte was saying not making sense, I'm like, wait, this is a part, allegedly, of Whitehead's pathology. Right, Ty, certified nuts. Okay? Certified motherfucking nuts. Okay? I had to remember, this is what he does, allegedly. This is his pathology. He has attempted to abuse people in the name of getting his needs met, girl. And according to the superseded indictment regarding the alleged attempt at bank fraud, we can see that Whitehead apparently is willing to do whatever needs to be done in order to keep the lights on in his New Jersey castle, girl. Okay? Pauline Anderson also, her lawsuit involving and alleging that Bishop ran off with $90,000 of her retirement money that he was supposed to invest in. Her lawsuit and incident is also listed in the indictment against Mr. Whitehead as well. And we also know that Whitehead likes to turn up and likes to utilize violence when he's in his feelings and to get his way, aka Tarsha, who's in the chat, the unarmed black woman that he put his hands on. that he got put in a patrol car over putting his hands on, aka inviting Larry Reid and King Jives and D.L. Hughley into the boxing ring for some much needed violence. Okay? The same bishop that reminds us that he ain't like these other bishops. He gets down. He stands 10 toes down. He believes in standing up for himself. He forgot the part about also taking things that don't belong to him, because a part of that pathology, according to Wikipedia, this is very much so a part of Whitehead's psychology. In Wikipedia, under the crime tab, it reads that in 2004, Suffolk County, New York police received complaints from 9 residents claiming that their identities were being used to purchase Range Rover cars. After arresting one suspect, the newly formed Identity Theft Investigation Unit began to pursue Whitehead, who had shared the same address as the first suspect. The following year, Whitehead took a $200,000 personal loan from conductor Maxima Bragado Darman and his son, Julio Bragado Young. According to a lawsuit, Whitehead promised to repay the loan in 1 month, along with $25,000. Whitehead defaulted, and Brandon Damon successfully sued Whitehead in 2008 for $300,000+. As of 2022, Whitehead continues to owe Bragado Damon $251,000 following a court judgment. Later in 2005, Whitehead was living in Teaneck, New Jersey. Following a criminal complaint, he was arrested by Port Authority police in Upper Manhattan while driving a maroon Range Rover. Following the arrest, police discovered that Whitehead was operating an extensive fraud and identity theft operation to take out more than $2 million in loans and purchases for motor vehicles. That sounds a lot like the 2022 incident that he's facing trial for regarding more $1 million loans he attempted to take out. We're talking about someone who allegedly has not learned their lesson and literally continued on in this mindset. More than 50 victims were identified from states including Tennessee, Georgia, New York. Whitehead was charged with multiple counts of identity theft and convicted in 2008. He served 5 years in Sing Sing Correctional Facility before being arrested in 2013. Oh my God, today. So, once again, when I thought about baby, Brandon Belmonte must be leaving out something, bitch. He must be leaving out something. I have to remember, no. Whitehead allegedly has a pattern of these type of tactics. So let's continue to listen to this very bizarre ass tale, because we are going to get into Brandon Belmonte too. He is the non-black version of Criminal Head, allegedly. Okay?
Who I really am. People don't fuck with me in the streets. I can roll around with all this jewelry on. You know, I'm not really, don't play me because I'm a bishop. At this time, I'm living in an $8 million house in Weehawken, New Jersey, overlooking the whole city, have the whole setup, everything. Starts, I need my fucking $5,000. You fucking faggot. I have recordings, everything. Starts calling me all sorts of crazy names. I'm like, bro, listen. I said, at the time, I sold the body shop out to 2 guys because I don't have time to go there every day. The 2 guys, I go, give him his $5,000. Let's move on with this situation. We're not giving him his $5,000. I go, well, I'm not giving him $5,000 out of my own pocket. I'm not losing money to fix some guy's car that no body shop in the world, I don't care what you have, will give you a $13,000 rental for a month. That's how much they charge me for the Escalade, a month. Long story short, he starts making threats. I'm going to send somebody to come pick up my fucking money. I'm going to show up at your house. I'm going to pull up on you. Starts talking like a street guy. I go, bro, I'm not a street guy. I said, just because, I hung out with street guys in the car rental business, I'm not a street guy. All of a sudden, he starts, yo, I'm going to pull up at your house tonight. You're a fucking faggot. Starts calling me all sorts of names every day, starts calling me names. I said, listen, I'm going to pay you. I said, I don't want nothing to do with it.
That's also interesting, right? Because remember, Whitehead has also been repeatedly accused of being homophobic, making homophobic remarks. You guys know he also called another YouTuber recently apparently the F word or some variation of it, punk or sissy or something. But I think it was the actual F word. And then you guys know that was a part of the contention between him and Larry Reid initially, because, you know, Larry had said that in his initial meeting of Bishop was just without reason just dragging the fuck out of the LGBT community, talking very down to them. I guess he thought that would get him cool points since he thought he was sitting amongst religious folk who are into that type of nasty rhetoric about LGBT folk, but he was actually sitting in front of very spiritual folk who love all folk and see queer people as a part of the kingdom of God. So it actually worked against him in terms of him being able to fit into that circle. And then you guys remember when him and Larry got into it on Larry's live stream over the whole robbery thing, Bishop also called Larry the F word then. So Brandon Belmonte talking about the bishop berating him, trying to intimidate him into giving him money that he doesn't deserve, he's not entitled to, etc., to the point that the bishop was becoming damn unhinged and angry at this man because he wasn't complying and being he wasn't complying and calling him the F word. As our last conversation about the bishop, it may be something true to the notion that the bishop may be dealing with some internal things. He may be dealing with his own homosexuality, because all the gay slurs and all of the unwarranted attacks on queer people is given like closeted, potentially down low, like repressed, pansexual, possibly. It's given all that. Okay. I be telling y'all ladies, whenever you get a man, girl, who claim they straight and they just always have to make negative comments about queer people, girl, they always got to bring that into their commentating space. Those be the niggas you need to be running the opposite way from, child. It ain't the niggas who bold enough to identify as straight but paint their fingernails, or identify as straight and wear their hair long, etc., girl. It need to be the niggas that be identified as straight, girl, but got this vitriol sitting to the surface of themselves toward the queer community, girl. Those the niggas that secretly be with Marquise Rivers, girl, the down low detective, baby. Them be the niggas, girl, who bought all that LGBT life, girl. Okay? Them be the men you need to be side-eyeing, girl. If they gotta perform masculinity and be overly macho, be toxic in their masculinity, girl, performative masculinity, girl, that mean that man is pretending. We know he's pretending to be masculine. So now the question is, girl, who in fact are you actually? What are you trying to conceal? Who are you trying to avoid being? Because clearly you're acting. You're self-deceiving. That's scary shit. And those are red flags, ladies. So all y'all who be trying to figure out, girl, is my man on the down low, girl? Is my man gay, girl? Do my man like it in the ass? If he homophobic, yes, he likes it deep. He likes it deeper in his ass than open, honest homosexuals who are bottoms like it in their ass, girl. He's a bigger bottom than the bottoms that you know. He's a bigger bottom than the bottoms that you watch in your spare time as a heterosexual individual when y'all be watching gay porn and shit, girl. Because I heard a lot of women like and enjoy gay porn with your freaky asses. Yeah. The homophobe likes it deep. And they don't just like it deep, they like it hard. They don't just like it hard, baby. They get their life off the dick. I'm talking about, baby, if you thought you was Megan Thee Stallion on the dick, you ain't seen your boyfriend on that thing, baby. If you thought you was queen of the rodeo, baby, you ain't seen your down low nigga on that horse, baby. Okay? You thought you were the one teaching him some tricks, baby. He the one training you, baby. How you think he know how you supposed to be positioned on that thing, girl? How you think your man is able to tell you, girl, okay, arch your back, rise your ass up, spread your legs, get at a 180-degree angle, baby, because he know how that thing supposed to enter and exit, baby. He done been in all them damn angles, girl. He teaching you what he know, okay? You think you the one, girl. Who writing the manual, girl? He done authored it. Another story for another day. Let's continue on.
I can't stand you. You're the most annoying person in the world. Anybody who's a real businessman can't come and sit at someone's body shop for 5 or 6 hours. He would come sit at the body shop for 5 or 6 hours straight, sit there on the other side of my desk, and basically tell me about his real estate deal in Connecticut, tell me about this real estate deal, that real estate deal, how he has City Hall in his back pocket, Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, he has guns in his church, okay, everything.
Wow.
So I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy thinks he is. So one night, it was a Friday night, it was around Greek Orthodox Easter weekend. My fiance is in Ohio. I'm on the phone with one of my boys who used to work at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, and I'm telling him the story. I go, bro, I said, I think Eric Adams is trying to extort me through this guy. Because he kept saying to try for me to introduce my best friend as a legit billionaire, real estate developer. He's a Hasidic Jew. He's a legit billionaire, like legit. Mm-hmm. He kept saying, introduce me to him, introduce me to him. I got City Hall in my back pocket. Eric Adams, when he was Borough Hall president, was going to give me a $60 million construction contract. I didn't have a construction business. E will do anything for me. E will do anything for me. So I call my boy. I go, this guy wants $5,000, and basically he's going to leave me alone. But he keeps talking about City Hall do things for me with my building. They'll give me benefits, right? I could get you this. I could get you that. E, it's my time to shine. It's my time to eat. You know, I didn't get to eat because I guess when Eric Adams became Borough Hall president, I'm speaking out of not sure about this. He had just came out of jail, and basically he didn't have anything at that time. Now that he had something, you know, whether he did or he didn't, you know, people thought he did because the guy's driving around 2 Rolls Royces, a Lamborghini, et cetera, et cetera. He comes across as a guy who has the wherewithal to be able to do real estate. Mm-hmm. So he goes, introduce me to your boy, introduce me to your boy. So I call my boy and I go, this guy wants to borrow. Then he started asking me to borrow $500,000. I said, let me get your Zelle. I said, I'll Zelle you the $5,000. I didn't even have Zelle at the time because my bank doesn't have Zelle. I said, let me get your Zelle. I knew that.
I just find it so freaking synchronistic that this man was asking for 2 different sums of money. First of all, who the fuck asks somebody for $500,000? Who? Thirdly, or secondly, girls, I'm tired. I don't know whether I said secondly the first. One of the leads. Who the fuck entertains sending and giving somebody $500,000 through Zelle or Cash App? But maybe that's just how rich these niggas is, girl. Okay? They making $500,000 transactions, girl, through Cash App and Zelle, girl. But the 5,000 is interesting to me because remember that ex-employee who alleged that he wasn't paid for his services, and that, once again, it's in the indictment that Bishop allegedly tried to intimidate, berate, and beat $5,000 out of his ass, girl. So literally, not only does he have alleged pathology, but like the sum total he be seeking is, it'd be the same. Damn near the same. Every time. Just like when it came to the alleged attempt to defraud the banking system for a $2 million loan back in the early 2000s. But then last year's attempt to defraud the bank was for another $2 million loan. Same pathology, same monetary goalpost. Just interesting. Very interesting.
It's the easiest way to get him. I'm going to send you your Zelle. So that Friday night, I called my boy who used to work at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I'm like, yo, I think the mayor of New York is trying to extort me through this guy, because every day this guy's saying he's going to set up meetings with Eric Adams, he's going to do this with Eric Adams, introduce my boy, who's a legit billionaire, to Eric Adams. We're going to sit down with Eric Adams. Eric Adams has the key to the city. He could get whatever he wants from Eric. Eric's his boy. Eric's his mentor. Eric's something with Bishop Lamar Whitehead's dad got killed by the NYPD.
Not only is this severe clout chasing on Lamar's part when it comes to Eric Adams, I told y'all, I don't know why the hell Eric Adams. I know Eric allegedly distanced himself from Whitehead, but girl, I'm surprised he didn't slap a damn cease and desist on Whitehead. But everything that Belmonte is saying is interesting. I forgot what I was going to say, girl. That's how tired I am, girl. I can't even hold on to my damn thoughts. Hold on. Let me rewind it back, girl. I had a good thought. Something had sparked my...
Mayor of New York is trying to extort me through this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Because every
there
day...
it is, girl. I rewinded it to the right part, girl. That's why Whitehead is convinced that all this indictment shit, fast on his ass shit, is really not about him. It's about Eric Adams. Because he believes there's a witch hunt against Eric Adams. Whitehead believes that he's collateral damage because so many people don't like Eric Adams and think Eric Adams is corrupted, etc. Boom, pow, they're trying to catch him slipping. But Whitehead is still an idiot for believing that, because you can't be arrested based upon, you can't be facing whole fucking indictments of this magnitude based upon assumptions, girl. Like, even if they want Eric Adams' head too, you obviously are doing things according to these indictments, girl, that have put your ass before a 2024 trial facing a judge where you're more than likely going to be spending the rest of your fucking life in fucking prison. You're not facing a trial because of a witch hunt against Eric Adams. According to your indictment, you're facing trial and have these legal issues because you allegedly tried to defraud an entire fucking bank. You allegedly ran off with almost $100,000 of another woman's money under a insincere business contract. You also lied to the authorities when they raided your home and retrieved more than 13 electronic devices. You not only refused to give them the passwords to those devices, to where they had to bring in their own techs in order to jailbreak, no pun intended, these electronics. But you also lied to the SWAT team that busted up in your home about having more than one phone. You told them you only had one, which was what they confiscated, when in fact you had two. What does Eric Adams have to do with any of the things I just mentioned? What does a witch hunt against Eric Adams have to do with anything that just got mentioned? But yet, he will throw his mentor's name into his bullshit after allegedly Eric Adams was the one and was the reason why he allegedly was able to evade having charges pressed against him during the Tarsha Howard incident. Allegedly, it was Eric Adams who was able to call in a last-ditch favor for Whitehead. And Whitehead was able to go home, while Tarsha Howard had to deal with the legal consequences that were thankfully resolved ultimately and entirely. And yeah, he had more than one phone. He did. He and Adams don't say anything bad about the other. No, Eric Adams just secretly tiptoes on out the sanctuary quietly because the block is motherfucking hot. And it has led people to questioning what the nature of Eric Adams and Bishop's relationship must be, because clearly there probably should have been some cease and desist, or should have been an open rebuke from Eric Adams under these circumstances, yet there's been nothing. So some people have speculated that there's been some dirty hands and that there's probably been some foul play and some things that Whitehead may have on Eric Adams, according to the streets, child. Or either Eric Adams is just loyal to a fault. Possible. He's just loyal. And rather than putting the bishop on blast, he rather disrespectfully say nothing at all and tiptoe quietly on out the sanctuary. But Whitehead says all of this is about Eric Adams, girl. All this is about the mayor, the witch hunt against the mayor. That's according to Whitehead, child.
Friday night, I'm living in my house, right? I call it my boy. I go, what should I do? I said, I really think the mayor's on the take. I said, there's some weird shit going on here. Every word out of this guy's mouth is Eric Adams, Eric Adams, Eric Adams. And he presents himself as a thug and as a legitimate businessman. So my boy goes, dude, you need to call the U.S. Attorney's Office right now. So I said, are you sure? He goes, yeah. So I dial the 212 number to the U.S. Attorney's Office. They put me on the phone with 2 AUSAs, 2 FBI agents, and another guy. I explained to them basically what Bishop Lamor Whitehead said to me. They said, that's crazy. It sounds unbelievable that someone would throw around the mayor of New York City's name like that. It's not like he's throwing around his name, your name, her name, not that you guys are nobodies, but, you know, this is the mayor of New York City saying basically he's going to give us a homeless shelter in the Bronx for a building that's not a homeless shelter. That was our discussion, okay? And he spoke so candidly of the mayor that he like basically, these are my text messages. This is everything. I speak with him. He called him E. Then he would refer to him as Eric. So I said, the next morning, it was a Saturday morning at 7 a.m. I get a call from a block number. It was the FBI. They said, where do you live? I said, Weehawken, New Jersey. They said, yeah, we're on our way to your house right now. I said, what? I said, you're on your way to my house right now. I said, I just got off the phone with you guys last night at 11 o'clock. He goes, yeah. This is really serious. I'm like, okay. I said, that's fine. Come in my house. They sit in my house for about 2 hours. They asked me to make a recorded call to the bishop. Straight up. They said, if you're not lying, you have to make a recorded call. Show us that you weren't lying. You kept us on the phone last night for an hour and a half telling us this story about how this guy drops the mayor of New York's name every 5 seconds. So a week before this, he asked me to borrow $500,000 for his project in Connecticut. He said he needed $500,000 to finish his project in Connecticut, and I had sent my father, who died in September of 2022.
Condolences.
Thank you. This is around June 2022. I sent my father, my father's a big construction guy in Connecticut, to check out his property in Connecticut to try and help him when we were on good terms. That's when I did it, right? Now we weren't on good terms, and I didn't give him his $5,000 yet. You know, every other word out of his mouth is, I need my fucking money. I got to get mines, blah, blah, blah. So the FBI comes to my house. I do a recorded call. The recorded call goes like this. He's in his fucking closet. That's huge. Like, the guy's got
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm tired as hell, so I don't know if Brandon already said this, but if he hasn't, he's going to say it. Brandon Belmonte either is a government informant, period, or the government getting involved was an isolated incident. But what makes me believe that Brandon Belmonte might be a government informant is not only due to all the shit he's gotten away with, that he hasn't faced any real legal ramifications with, for apparently. But in this interview, if he hasn't already spoken about it, he goes to say how he's like well connected in his community, and all of the criminals come to him to get out of the trouble that they're in. Niggas who done did identity theft, which I find to be interesting because Bishop Whitehead has done time and prosecuted and found guilty of identity theft. And Brandon Belmonte, specifically cites that he's helped so many of the young guys, the dudes in the community who needed lawyers, etc., Casanova, etc. He's done this for so many people who've done wrong. So then, Brandon Belmonte, riddle me this. How is it that all of a sudden you have a call to righteousness about another alleged criminal attempting to do business with you? And you just feel so threatened, and you feel, oh my God, he's trying to snuff, and he's trying to do this, and he's trying to do that. But you have already admitted that you were into helping guilty people avoid the feds and avoid accountability and avoid doing time and to not be held accountable. But all of a sudden, in Whitehead's incident, oh my God, I'm a victim. I don't know what this man trying to do to me. Oh my God, are they in cahoots again? Like, Brandon Belmonte, there's something you're not telling us. We're going to listen anyway, bitch. But there's something that you're not telling us, baby. We're going to listen anyway, bitch. But there's something you're not telling us for sure. There's big chunks of your part in this that you are not telling us for sure. There is a role that you are playing that you haven't disclosed to us for sure, because you are very comfortable with criminals in your community. You're very comfortable with criminals in your proximity. You're very comfortable with doing business and renting cars and being friends and socializing, and you save the criminals. According to you, not me. I don't think Brandon Belmonte realized what he was saying. That most people don't, which is why if you listen to people, you learn a lot when they're trying to sell you on bullshit. So how can you be the person on one end who knows street code, you comfortable with street niggas, but then you're trying to separate yourself as this, which he tried to do a lot of PR for himself in this interview. I don't do nothing. I'm just a businessman. I'm just a, I'm just a fluffy ass non-black man who just lives in a $8 trillion ass mansion that don't have no clothes in it. That's around all the thugs that don't do none of the stuff that these people do, even though I run completely with them and I help to get them lawyers and I do financial transactions with them. And what had happened, Real Monte? What had happened, girl? What had happened? Moving along.
I was like a celebrity you see on, MTV Cribs, right? And I have a big ass house, but I don't have any clothes, right? So this guy's living like, large, and he's in there folding like Fendi and Gucci and all these fucking brands that, I've never had before in my life. And he goes, yeah, me and you will sit down with Eric. Just get me my $5,000. Everything is going to go, as planned. And we're going to make money together. We're going to make millions together. So that call was recorded. I did it in my Lamborghini Urus in front of my house with the FBI agent, literally sitting in the backseat of my car. They like hunkered down, right? So then he goes, I still want my $5,000. I need my fucking $5,000. Starts flipping out on me, like fucking calling me crazy names. So the FBI gave me $5,000 to give to him.
Wow.
He says to me, listen,
did y'all hear that?
Millions together.
Brandon Belmonte said the feds gave him $5,000 to give to Whitehead in order to sustain this acquaintanceship and to keep the lines of communication open, hoping from the feds' perspective that Whitehead would continue to incriminate himself as he believed that he had found a potential partner to do alleged crime with.
We're going to run City Hall. I got connections. We did about 3 or 4 other recorded phone calls back and forth.
3 or 4?
Where he would say, Eric Adams is my right-hand man. Eric Adams was at the Met Gala. He called Eric Adams right in front of me. Eric Adams did not pick up the call in any of the conversations ever. But his assistant did, and Bishop was trying to get a meeting with Eric Adams to sit down with us to do a business deal together. The FBI had me give him the $5,000. And in his interview with you, he says I set him up. And that they're not using me as a witness in the case, and that I lied about all this stuff. Everything is on recordings. I didn't lie about anything. Everything from A to Z is on recordings that the FBI had me record all our conversations with him, in which he goes into detail over and over again of, you need to give me my fucking money. You need to give me $500,000. You need to do this. You need to do that. Or basically, I'm going to get your project shut down. I'm going to make your life miserable. I'm not really who you think I am. Don't let the bishops close, basically deceit who I really am, because I'm really a thug deep down inside. He would basically throw out a couple times. He said he was, involved with the Crips. He said, even though I know when Casanova got arrested in 2020, I paid for his lawyer the day he got arrested. James Consciouztv, I paid $75,000 for Casanova's lawyer the day he got arrested. And the FBI came to my house when Casanova was a fugitive from justice. He called and he basically told me, he said, I don't care who you fuck with. And I said, bro, Cass and I were cool. I'm not a street guy, but I'm not I'm a cool dude. Like, people like me in the streets, I did a lot for a lot of people. The day that Cass got arrested, literally, he called me that day. He said, I need a lawyer. I got him a lawyer, and I wired $75K to James Consciouztv that day, right? That Casanova got arrested. So then he starts with the whole $500,000. I need $500,000. I need half.
So how you the innocent big ball of joy and bubble gum, and you're literally funding wrong-ass people's attempt to evade accountability, which means that you are actually protecting actively, intentionally protecting criminals, sustaining them in the community. But you have singled out Whitehead because you're just an innocent auto body shop owner who lives in a $1 trillion, $8 billion home with no designer clothes in it. And you've just amassed all of this because of hard work and prayer to God, while you align yourself with some of the biggest players, some of the biggest kingpins, some of the biggest movers and shakers. And we know what most hip-hoppity, rappity ass niggas, what type of lives they live as well. They do the celebrity shit, but they stay in them streets too. And Brandon Belmonte is in good business with all of them. But he himself is unstained. He's innocent Patty. He's just the Christ enigma amongst all the whores and thieves and amongst all those with leprosy. And, he just happens to be the enigma, honey. He's just, you know, the oddball out, honey. Allegedly. Okay.
Dollars. So I never gave him the $500,000. We basically strung him along that I was going to give him the $500,000. And he would say, once you give me the $500,000, I'm going to make the introduction to Eric Adams. So basically it was, I want you to fix my wife's car for free, right? I want you to lose $5,000 on fixing my wife's car. Then I want you to give me $500,000 that you're going to lend me against my property in Connecticut, which is property in Connecticut. My friend actually did the mortgage. I don't know what you guys know about mortgages, but if he took the $500,000, he would have been in default because you can't have a second position loan on the property. So first position is my friend, second position would have been me. And basically he was just trying to defraud me to give him $500,000 when he hadn't made a payment on the building in 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Is that a toilet? Yeah. You mean to tell me we've been living here all this time?
Oh, that's a
and
commercial.
you never told me we had a bathroom?
Wow. Baby. Baby, that Bishop, baby, he's something else. Wow.
His whole thing was, I'm the, you know, thug bishop is what I would call him deep down inside.
Mhm.
He's not a good person. He comes across as a good guy. He tries to get on your good side. My father was dying at the time, you know, and basically he just wanted everything he could get from me. And once he knows he's not going to get anything, you're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. You're a lowlife. You're trash. You're everything. So he says, oh, I set him up on your radio show. He goes, oh, he set me up. I didn't set him up. He set himself up.
I mean, what kind of a setup, though? You had a phone call, FBI, got a phone setup. Granted, he deserved it. I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it, but it kind of was a little setup.
Look at how
I agree. He did deserve what.
Look at how even the radio host had to like tell Brandon Belmonte, wake up out of this fucking good guys bullshit. Like, look, if you're gonna tell the story, just tell the fucking story, okay? All the attempts to reframe your intentions, to like make sure that you assert your innocence. What it actually does is scream guilty. Like, what the fuck are you so guilty of that you have to continuously billboard your innocence, your innocence, your innocence, your innocence, your innocence? The courts have already cleared Belmonte, even in Bishop's indictments, by saying that Brandon Belmonte will not take the stand. He's not a part of the trial. He's not being called in as a witness. He will have no parts in the trial. So you don't have a reason. It's no real reason to have to PR the fuck out of yourself. Like, why all the over PRing in this case? Brandon Belmonte is so delusional that he literally set this man up and was like, I didn't set him up. To be fair, he's right. Ultimately, you can't set somebody up who ain't doing wrong. You can help them to be caught in their wrong, which is what Brandon Belmonte did. But the fact that he actually thinks, the fact that he can get on this microphone and give us a play-by-play of how he set him up and then be like, girl, I ain't set him up. Brandon Belmonte, you're trying too hard. And it actually makes you look more diabolical. It actually makes people more curious about what the fuck you got going on, that you're trying this hard to be an innocent person who just had proximity to a bad guy, but had nothing to do with anything. Nothing is sour and corrupted on your end. Your over virtue is like screaming, definitely saving your own ass. Saving your own ass. Brandon Belmonte sounds like somebody who is inside of an interrogation room being interrogated for his damn life. And he's trying his best to disassociate himself in every way, shape, or form from somebody he had absolute association to. Probably more ways than the motherfucking one. And he's doing like a really bad job at pretending not to have really known this man. Like, you could almost hear him sweating underneath his goddamn cap, girl. Like, you can literally feel the sweat rolling down your own forehead as this man is literally trying to sell the bullshit that even the damn DJ ain't goddamn buying. The DJ just had to bust out laughing, girl.
Because, I mean, listen, if he was trying to defraud you out of money, right is right, wrong is wrong. So how did it end without him going to jail?
What do you mean?
Because if the FBI is involved,
He did get arrested.
oh, he did.
He got arrested right before Christmas for extortion, which was the $5,000
Okay.
for the car, and then the potential simultaneous fraud of the loan of $500,000.
Yeah.
Using Eric Adams as my go-to, because he basically was offering us city benefits on behalf of Eric Adams without Eric Adams' knowledge
Mm-hmm.
of him doing this.
But here's the next thing.
Yeah.
Eric Adams has to get on some kind of public forum and denounce his relationship with this man.
You know what's so funny? Brandon Belmonte and both Whitehead have the same story, just in reverse. They both tell the same story, but say that they're both innocent in the story and the other is the bad guy. To your point, Lucky. The bishop will say he was the one not paying Belmonte no attention. He drove his wife's car in. He was already on the phone, preoccupied, and it was Brandon Belmonte who was trying to get his attention, trying to talk to him, who started putting all this shit on the table, etc., saying that he recognized him because of his proximity to Eric Adams and started obsessing over Eric Adams, etc. And of course, neither Brandon Belmonte or Whitehead are telling the truth. The actual truth is what's in between both of their narratives. They both played their part. They both were opportunists. They both, more than likely, are at fault for something. And because shit didn't work out the way it was supposed to, they both are just blaming the other entirely, fully, and exclusively on the shit hitting the fan. Brandon Belmonte ain't no more convincing of his innocence than Whitehead is when Whitehead claims that this encounter was completely lied about. And the fact, and we know the bishop is lying because once again, the feds also mentioned that they have recordings. So we know that those recordings that Brandon Belmonte is saying that exists, those 4 recordings, they do exist because those recordings are mentioned in the indictment. The feds have them, have heard them, and they will enter into Exhibit A, B, C, and motherfucking D. They will enter into evidence. So I don't know why they got to lie, Craig.
And that's a problem.
It is a problem. No one understands why. And I did an interview from the New Yorker magazine back in December when he got arrested. I did an interview with the New Yorker magazine and I sat down with them and they said, why do you think Eric Adams hasn't? I think they're friends. I think they were friends at one point, but I don't think Eric Adams is a bad person. I don't think Eric Adams was ever in on any of this. I think the bishop tried to leverage his relationship with Eric Adams.
Absolutely. And everybody says that about the bishop. I think the Fed's conviction rate is 80% or higher. I think it's high. I know that.
They try and defraud me and look at me as an easy target in this situation when I was an easy target. And
it's high because the feds are methodical, just like the Hoover, Alabama police. They're detailed. They're patient. They don't make impulsive arrests. They give shit all the time it needs to actually play out. And they pretty much wait until they practically have the crime you've committed, documented. They wait until you practically fully incriminate yourself, because people have been asking, why have the feds even allowed Whitehead to be out on his bond, being disruptive and continuing to be out here in these streets like this when he's continuing to be a menace? It's because they're giving him time. If they had actually taken Whitehead in during the incident with Tarsha, had they used that situation to say, all right, he broke the terms of his bond, which was that he couldn't bring harm to other people, etc. We're going to just bring him in and hold him until trial, which is a part of his alleged bond agreement. What the feds would have missed out on is what would have happened 3 months, 4 months later, when he would allegedly attempt to defraud an entire banking system, which is what led to the indictment being upgraded to a superseded indictment. So that's why the feds let shit play out, because they give their targets room to pussy pop and do the fuck shit they do, so that by the time this has to go before a jury and a judge, that all they got to do is present the evidence. All they got to do is have their presentation of the crime on point and ensure the fact that there's going to be a conviction. And it's pretty smart. And anybody who knows the mind and understands human nature is, the feds know that most people are going to be repeat offenders, and that when they're under the belief that they've gotten away with one crime, more than likely they're going to continue to commit crime, which only helps the feds to put your black ass away, because they allow you to inherently dogpile onto your own self. They allow you to dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So that all they got to do in the end, once again, is present the facts. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They let you do 3 years, 4 years, 2.5 years, a year and a half worth of fucking crime and criminality. And then you were dumb enough to believe that you was actually getting away with it because you're just smart. You're just so clever. You're just so brilliant. Your IQ is just so IQing, when, bitch, you've been caught on candid camera every time you was doing your fuck shit. The feds were just capitalizing off of your arrogance and your stupidity. And now look at your ass. You get the Tory Lanez package, bitch. Deported. Goodbye. It's clever and it's genius on behalf of the feds. That's why their conviction rate so high. They placate the human psychology.
Ask people, does Brandon know people in law enforcement before he met me? Then he goes on your show and says that I put bugs inside cars, I had rappers arrested, I had this arrested, when all I did ever in my life, when I had you could ask anybody, people had my Rolls Royce Cullinan shot up in the Bronx. I fixed it myself, never had them pay for it. When Cass got arrested, paid for his lawyer. So many kids, we had 108 total cars. So many kids would come to us all the time, say, oh, I just got arrested for credit card theft. Can you help me get a lawyer? Can you help me get this? Can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that for me? And we would help.
Why would you help them to avoid accountability? Why would you help them, which would only deepen their unconsciousness, because once again, they're able to avoid accountability for the criminality they're inducing in the community. And instead of you being the elder, and I ain't saying you got to help them get locked up. You ain't got to help the feds find them, but instead of you at the least telling them that those who live by the sword shall be judged by the sword, and that there's a reaction to all actions. There's an effect to all causation. And if this is the life that you're going to live, then these are the things that come with it. Potential prison time, the feds on your ass. But instead, what Brandon Belmonte was doing was supplying them with lawyers, connecting them, pulling in favors for them. And just like Eric Adams' relationship to Whitehead is questionable, it also brings into question Brandon Belmonte's character. Because we're not stupid. What allegedly is, what typically is the case in situations like this is those young boys, those young heathens, those dudes are your minions. They doing your bidding out there in the streets. So you protecting them is ensuring your bottom dollar, because they the one executing on all your alleged criminality. So you need to maintain your foot soldiers. You got to protect your foot soldiers, because them your pawns, and the pawns always go first in chess. Without them, you ain't got no flying monkeys. You don't got no worker bees. You don't got nobody to go out there and to be on the front line of all the bullshit y'all got going on out there in the community. So you acting pretty much as the mafia's godfather to these boys, allegedly. Because if you was as much of a good guy as you claim, then why are you endorsing this behavior by helping these guys to get away with the terrorism? Whitehead is done time for identity theft and thievery, is now facing trial for identity theft and thievery. Ironically, the guys that you are protecting also, you, in your own words, Belmonte, are facing charges for thievery and identity theft, and yet you're protecting them. But so you want us to believe that you felt threatened by Whitehead, who is just another one of these type of people who do this type of criminality. And on one hand, you protect these type of people because you're probably in business with these type of people, especially considering that your own reputation, baby, is just as scandalous as Whitehead. And we're going to get into that. But I'm just like, how did Brandon Belmonte not listen to himself? He spilled his own tea. He allowed there to be so many reading between the lines, and was just sitting up there confidently talking so flippantly. And I'm like, girl, do you hear what you're saying, sir? You don't understand this. Let's just continue this.
Everybody.
It's almost
we're not out here to hurt anybody, but at the same time, we're not out here to be taken advantage of by anyone. And he says, oh, the FBI wasn't onto him. But then right after he gets arrested for my case, right, he gets arrested for buying his house with fake bank statements. And then recently, and I don't follow him, he said that I was on your show. He said that I was watching him before. I didn't even know who the hell he was, nor do I really care who he is. Yeah, I don't even go to church. I went to a Catholic school, but I don't even pray to God. So I would never pray to him, first of all. And anybody who's driving a nicer car than I'm driving and, you know, leaves your house and can sit there for 6 hours and you leave your house at 11 a.m. in the morning is obviously up to some sort of no good. You know, and had I lent him the money, he's lost the building in Connecticut, or he's in the process of losing the building in Connecticut. It was just signed over to a receiver. He sued me for $200 million. I've never been actually served with the lawsuit, but his lawyer, Brian Ponder, and I'm sure I'll get sued again right after this interview. I'm 100% sure. His lawyer basically just puts it on the internet that he's suing me for $200 million, and I don't get served, but it just is this media frenzy. That's what he does this for. It's all just a big joke. So when I saw your interview, people were reaching out to me and they're like, bro, you need to go on there. You need to clear the air of what exactly happened, because what he did was not kosher. It wasn't cool. It wasn't right. And, you know, you want to pretend you're someone of God. You need to really be someone of God, not be, you know, either, I say this, either you're a mobster or you're, you know, a church guy. You can't be both.
Right.
And he wanted to be both. And that's a major issue in this whole thing. And there's more things probably coming towards him because he's done a lot of people dirty like this. Then he wants to come on here and throw shade on me.
Not
I would sit down with
shade.
him across right here
Not shade,
and have a
girl.
debate with him, because he can't say that I ever set him up. I did this, I did that. He did.
It's so funny. Whenever I hear cis hetero men, use the word shade, it tickles my fancy.
Everything himself, because he was the one who was saying, give me this and I'm going to get this from City Hall, when there really was nothing to give me from City Hall.
Not true.
And it's not right.
Well, Brandon, thank you for coming. Appreciate you telling your side of the story. And I think, like they always...
He wrapped that up. All right, y'all. So that was Brandon Belmonte's, I believe, first public appearance as it relates to the allegations against him that he set the bishop up. He does acknowledge the lawsuit, but says he has not been served, of course, because why hasn't he been served? Either the bishop is too broke to serve him, and according to the superseded indictment, he does have less than $10 in his goddamn checkings account. So he might be too broke to get any of these folk he done filed lawsuits against actually served, girl. Or these lawsuits in and of themselves are only meant to be frivolous and meant to be distractions. They're not meant to actually be pursued. They're only meant to sustain a narrative on Bishop's behalf that he is innocent and he is a victim unto all these folk in a public space that he actually is being seen as the villain in. All right. Now, you guys heard for 20 minutes, Brandon Belmonte attempt to strongly detach himself, disassociate himself from the bishop and any of the bishop's intentions and desires and etc., and establish himself as not only somebody who wanted nothing. His morality is set up in an entirely different way than Bishop. He's an entirely different human being, okay, that they're night and day unto each other. Well, there is an interesting space that's been created to address Brandon Belmonte's alleged criminality, and it's on a page called complaintboard.com, which allows people to leave reviews about various people in business and give your honest feedback about said persons. Okay, and here it is, girl. Whole page listing Brandon Belmonte as what? A deadbeat, a scammer, and a motherfucking thief. Okay? Listen to this one individual here, girl, who says, watch out for this piece of garbage. He's pretending to be some socialite from Torrington, Connecticut, the closest thing that state has to a trailer park, that tells people about his huge fortunes. Okay, you guys heard him. He unnecessarily mentioned his $8 million home. It was irrelevant. It was irrelevant to tell us about the luxury cars you drive, to tell us about the home you live. All that stuff is completely irrelevant to you addressing Whitehead, who is accusing you of being a con man, etc. And yet you hear the undertone of the showboating, the unnecessary insertion of the luxury lifestyle that Belmonte lives. He tells people about his huge fortunes, has them do a ton of work for him, and then runs away, leaving nothing but expenses and losses for those that meet him. He is a co-conspirator. Wow. And his scam, Peter Belmonte, his father, no less. That's how he gets away with it. So apparently, Brandon Belmonte also has protection and immunity. They pose as high rollers, telling people that they are hard money lenders with ridiculous sums to lend and then hit the poor, borrow for huge initiation fees, and never fund the deal. The kid is a convicted felon. Check the court records. He has been convicted of assault, selling liquor to minors on 3 occasions, and felony fraud to the tune of $71,000 that you can verify by searching Torrington Citizen Register. The father has filed for bankruptcy protection on more than 1 occasion, has had his house foreclosed on, and has several judgments against him. The father sounds a lot like Whitehead. Wow. Wow. The law of attraction. Like-minded folk just attracting each other. The energy that keeps on energying. Definitely not the behavior of a millionaire, which Brandon Belmonte claims his house is worth millions of dollars, according to him. Be careful if you think that you're going to into any business with this guy. He's had news. So what if this is the case, you guys? Remember when I said, if you let Whitehead or Brandon tell the story, they both accuse each other of being a con artist? But then remember when I proposed the fact that they both more than likely are that. Okay? In this case, we know what Bishop Whitehead past is and what he's currently being accused of. But in this particular instance, more than likely, they both did a lot of yabba dabba doing and sizing each other up and placating to one another. Bishop might be really enraged and upset because he was the one who got played in the situation, which is, once again, why I felt like Brandon Belmonte had to be leaving something out of the story. Because even though Bishop does have an alleged history of strong-arming people for their damn money, Brandon Belmonte also is equally shysty, shady, an alleged liar, manipulator, etc. So essentially, you get the hypothetical of two thieves trying to out-thieve each other. Brandon Belmonte clearly got the best of Whitehead. Whitehead retaliated and is using this narrative of being the victim because it's just convenient and it's a way to be retaliatory. But Bishop more than likely the one who got played, because Brandon Belmonte has learned how to get away with more shit than he does not get away with. Bishop has not mastered that. Bishop hasn't largely mastered that because Bishop can't sustain relationships to people who can get him out of the trouble he finds himself in or the trouble that he gets himself in. Brandon Belmonte seems to be a lot more masterful in his ability to sustain connections, at least to the right fucking people, so that when the shit hits the fan, he can practically scoot away unscathed. Thank you, Perry. Thank you, love. I think they discussed some things, a lot of things. And Bishop got played out of some money. And he been mad as hell about that money. And like these other alleged victims of Brandon Belmonte, Bishop, he asserted the fact that, baby, don't let the clergy robe fool you. Nigga, I will gut you for my coin. I just get the feeling that Bishop, this was the one situation Bishop wasn't delusional in. That what he was asking for, he was entitled to, even though what he was entitled to probably came under them doing some improper business together. Because Brandon Belmonte seems to be really good at this type of shit, a lot better at it than Whitehead is. Okay? Be careful if you think you're going into business with this guy. He's bad news. Just because he plays sugar daddy to some little girl doesn't mean him a good guy. In fact, he needs to buy her love. Might be one of the drivers motivating his fraudulent and highly illegal activity. Oh, regarding the cars, any idiot can rent a high-end vehicle when they need to put on a show. I'm sure Brandon doesn't have the credit, let alone the cash, to either buy or lease any of those cars he claims to have had. Question: are one of Brandon's cousins that was recently released from prison? Yeah, you're a good reference, idiot. Then they give some links to Brandon's dad and court documents regarding his past. They give links to Brandon's alleged criminal record, etc. And there are 77 comments from various folk. Brandon Belmonte has robbed 50 people millions and had the balls to call the U.S. attorney. And because of him, someone next to the mayor got arrested. How was that possible that a criminal called the U.S. attorney's office and they listened to him? They Googled Brandon Bell. Didn't they Google Brandon Belmonte? The article was first published on NewYorker.com on January 14th of 2023. The version below appears in the January 30th, 2023 issue. Okay, and this is an excerpt from the New Yorker article mentioned. Another person said, I don't care if Brandon stole my lunch money. The NY and indictment involved Whitehead. Let's talk about a setup. What about Joanne Anderson? What about Pauline Anderson? Who? I don't know who the fuck Joanne is. Is Joanne the son? Our family will be in the courtroom to see that slug, Whitehead, in handcuffs. His fraudulent activities and playing God are almost done. That person said, fuck Belmonte, they want the head of Whitehead. The mayor and the con man. That is the title of the article about the mayor of NYC and Brandon Belmonte. The newspaper called him a con man. Somebody said, who cares? New York mayor and his mentee can lie, cheat, and steal forever. Somebody posted a picture of Brandon Belmonte. All right. Him looking, he's a little younger here. Brandon is out pretending he owns Lamborghini rental cars. Whose money did he steal this time? Why isn't this guy in jail? Look out for the next scam soon. Whenever he pops, is fat head up. Brandon's co-conspirator and father has died. The world is a better place without the scumbag. Look out for Brandon. Wow. This is an article written up of Brandon's father, Peter Belmonte. This Newspaper clipping reads, Peter Belmonte, 74 years of age, of Barkhamsted, formerly of Torrington, passed away on September 15th of 2022 at Charlotte Hungerford Hospital. He was the husband of 42 years of Judith Sugarack Belmonte. Girl, these white people names be having me screaming, or whatever fucking ethnicity these folk are. Born in Torrington, son of the late Frank, I don't care. In addition to his wife, he leaves a son, Brandon, okay, and brothers, Frank and Daniel. So Brandon was his only child. Wow. Brandon was the only child. Spoiled to death by the silver spoon his father stole from other people to put in his mouth, allegedly. Somebody else said, I think I just wrote you an email about getting together. Please check. If not, email me. Thank you. Brandon Belmonte, the only way to take this guy down is to get the attention of the U.S. Attorney's Office. Email me with as much info as possible about other people he has robbed. I promise I will forward it to the right party, the law enforcement. Okay, so, baby, folk have been conspiring, girl, to take Belmonte down, who just won't go down. And is he not going down because he has immunity? After all, the district attorney's office takes him pretty seriously. When Brandon Belmonte rings the phone, people get arrested. Is it given informant? Very much so sounds like it. What's going on, beautiful love styles? Hi, Teresa. Ciao. So who y'all believe? Y'all believe Whitehead version? Y'all believe Belmonte's version? Or neither? And why did Power 105.1 publish this interview 3 months later? Linda says, getting something in exchange. Yep. Miss Toko says, a whole dang crime family. It's on some mafia shit. Whitehead should have stayed in his lane and not mess with them Belmontes. Baby, he done fucked around and found out. Hey, Andrew. Hey, boo. Mary says neither. Perry says neither. The truth is in the middle. I believe that too. Miss Bynum says neither. They both are criminals. Ravonda says, Alexa, play Informa by Snow. The truth won't be known. Well, part of it is going to come out in trial. They got Whitehead facing off in trial in 2024, and maybe Brandon Belmonte's time will also come. Maybe. Just maybe. I wonder if Brandon Belmonte, since he has a criminal record and he's been to prison, etc., took a plea deal. And that's when the informant role came in at. The feds made a deal with him. Cut his time short. He get out there and help them to catch XYZ, to catch the other bad guys. Because getting one bad guy to help you to catch a lot of bad guys is the lesser of the two evils. On one hand, that bad guy is allowed to be a bad guy. But by letting him be a bad guy, they help you to catch multiple bad guys. I believe Belmonte, but not the reason why you may think. So why you believe him, Ronald? CTV, they are both running a scam with the aid of the feds monitoring Belmonte. Wow. He came at Belmonte wrong. Don't demand from the mafia. Well, what are on those recordings? Probably just a bunch of fluff, a bunch of innuendo, a bunch of Whitehead showboating, more than likely throwing Eric Adams' name around, because Brandon Belmonte never really said anything too incriminating were on the calls. But I guess the feds are more than likely going to use these recordings as context. That what a part of Whitehead's allures, one of his tactics is him clout chasing behind his mentor and using his mentor's name to coerce people into these alleged fraudulent dealings and contracts by deceiving them under the impression that somehow, some way, they will be endorsed by Eric Adams, that Eric Adams will extend himself, extend his resources, etc. Blah, 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 blah. It's clear that Whitehead uses Eric's name as his insurance. That's his trump card in convincing people that he is a man of stature and a man of resource and connection. It helps to add an artificial light to him, sort of like the alleged light of the moon, which is really the sun's illumination. We got from there, let me see what Mary said. We got from there, Cherie, Coke, I always wondered what my mom would have been like if she was from Jamaica instead. My God. Ronald says, because the bishop was making the block hot, the bishop heard about Belmonte because of his cars being in multiple rap videos. Oh. Okay, so you don't believe it was a chance encounter. You believe that the bishop was already on to Belmonte. And that the story about the sister-in-law car and then his wife's car being broke was just the bait, his way into proximity to Belmonte by finding a reason to do business with him, but that he had already been staking this man out, had already heard that this was the big wig on the block. And if Whitehead is connected to them streets, then I can see that too. I can see word on the curb spread and Whitehead thinking that Brandon Belmonte was with the shits. I don't think Eric is married. I think he allegedly has a girlfriend or a beard or something. He has a goatee or something. Bishop wanted to stunt, period. So it's interesting, girl. I once again, I'm just curious to know why did this interview come so late in the game? Why? It's weird. It's just weird. I'm gonna contact Power 105.1. I'm gonna call in. I'm gonna see if I can get some answers, girl. Like what made y'all debut this interview so late in the game, girl? And will the bishop respond? Because the bishop, sometimes he just likes the attention and he won't respond. He just enjoys having his name out there plastered in the lights. Or will he be triggered and go the fuck off, baby? Because he lost his damn mind, girl, when he read the New Yorker article and read about this Belmonte piece. So I wonder if he's going to have a clapback. I know he was live tonight, so I'm going to look at his live tonight and see if he mentioned any of this. But it'd be interesting to see if he has a response to Belmonte. Smells of a plea deal and part of the setup to bait and incriminate others. I agree with that. Trevor, what's going on, Trevor? Oh, he went live today. Yeah, he actually was live when I was moving over here to go live over here, and I had to pull up all my tabs and shit. I had went over to his page and he was live. So he was actually live when we were live tonight. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at the live, child. The bishop was jealous of Belmonte's rap connections. He came there to disrupt the flow. Okay, so you think he came there to compete, to take Belmonte out, to bring him down to size because he could be the only flashy nigga out here okay, on the block. He can only be the big daddy. He could be the only one connected to Tekashi 6ix9ine and running shit. He felt inferior. Felt like it wasn't enough room for two big daddies on the block. Everyone is entitled to an attorney. Yes, they are. That's the law. And thank God. Cardboard always wanted to be important. Very true. I like to know more about Belmonte because he's given a double agent status. He really is. And his time more than likely is coming. The feds will probably expire Belmonte if it's true that they're in cahoots with him in any kind of way, shape, or form. And once again, girl, he is connected to the attorney's office and folk get arrested on Brandon Belmonte's watch, child. It's very interesting and is all alleged. Sean said the interview came because Belmonte was getting bad press and this was his way of... No, I understand why he did the interview. I'm trying to understand why did Power 105.1 release the interview 4 months after all that bad press, because this interview would have been more appropriate at the time that Brandon Belmonte name was in everybody's mouth and Bishop was filing these lawsuits and going on a press tour dragging Brandon Belmonte. The bad press is over now. So to release the interview 3-4 months afterwards is random. It's not intelligent from a PR standpoint. And it's just interesting. The Bishop is the male version of a hinge. Yeah. He is. Conscious Monday was 1 year. I know. Yeah. I had opened up the show with that. It don't even feel like 1 year. It's been so much drama in such a short amount of time. It don't even feel... I haven't even been able to be focused on time itself because it's been so much drama. It don't even feel like a year. It was strategic for sure. Yeah. I'm going to call up there. I'm going to send an email. I'm going to find out why. I'm going to see what they're going to tell me. I'm going to tell y'all what they tell me about why they released this interview when they did. Thank you so much, baby mother. Thank you so much, Miss Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I got your cash app. Thank you, baby, for love. Thank you. Okay, shout out to South Carolina. Take your shirt off, honey. Take your bra off. Twist it around your head like a helicopter. Thank you, South Carolinian. Thank you, boo. God bless you. I'm gonna be able to get me some dinner tonight, child, because I'm hungry. I've been with y'all all day. I ain't ate, I ain't cooked. So I appreciate y'all tokens of love, honey. I love you a long time. I love it when CTV starts reading the comments. You just never know when he's gonna get you playing around. Yes, random, but to see what Whitehead would do. It's interesting. It's gonna stir the pot. There's more than likely going to be a response. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I do got to get out of here, you guys. I haven't eaten all day. It's been a joy to be with you all. I will be getting with One Love, and we will be putting together a panel to continue to work through this whole conversation about gender and trans women and biological women and all of that good jazz. If you're interested in that, just hit me up, etc. If you want to be a part of the panelists, it's a 10-slot panel. 5 spaces for natural born men and women, and 5 spaces for people who identify on the queer spectrum. So lesbian, non-binary, trans man, gay man, cross-dresser, drag queen, asexual, whatever your queerness is, child. I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. I will be with you guys tomorrow for a hot topics. Let me know what you think in a comment about all of this goings on. Make sure you thumbs up, share, tell a friend of a friend of a friend, and know that I love you. And in the words of my spiritual godmother, Iyanla Van Zant, stay in peace, not pieces. Good night.